Alright friends, here's your homework checker for Tuesday night. The first question says, Claire needed to subtract 19 from 62. First, she subtracted 20. What should she do next? So, this is part of mental math, and when you want to subtract a number, you start with something that is close to, so you can do it in your head really quickly. So 62 minus 19 is harder to do in your head because there's borrowing involved, and so subtracting 62 from 20 is much easier and quicker for mental math. So when you have 62 minus 20, you can know quickly that that is 42. So we're trying to figure out if we were to do 62 minus 19. So in order to get from 20 to 19, we would subtract 1. But our answer is actually going to do the opposite. It's not going to subtract 1, it's actually going to add 1. So let's subtract it out and see. You got to borrow here. 12 minus 9 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. So to get back to the original answer, you would have to add one more group. So the correct answer is C. The next question says, write a division statement for this array. So in order to write a division statement, we have to know the total amount. We have to know our dividend. So let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we have 12 total. And I see that these 12 are separated into 2 equal groups. And that's what division is, subtracting them into 2 equal groups. So 12 divided by 2 equal groups equals our quotient, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are how many are in each group. Next question is a division statement with estimation as well. It says, extended math facts can help with estimation. Which choice should be used to estimate 264 divided by 8? So this is pretty much asking for compatible numbers. When we use compatible numbers, we have to figure out what times 8 is really close to 26 without going over. So we have to think of our multiplication chart or our multiples of 8. And so when we think of those, we can go 8, 16, 24, 32. So what's closest to 26 without going over is 24. And that wouldn't be it because we have a placeholder in the hundreds place. So the best answer would be B. 240 divided by 8. And if we were to solve 240 divided by 8, it would be 30. Because 8 times 3 is 24. And we add the 0 for the placeholder at the end. So this is compatible numbers. You'll be seeing these all week in homework. Alright, next questions are asking us to round the same number but to different place values. So when we're looking at this, we have to see what place value is it asking us to round to. So the first one, 2,385,555. Rounded to the nearest thousands place. So if I'm rounding this on the number line, I would put 2,385,000 here, and then I'd add 1,000 to that to make it 2,386,000. And in the middle would be 2,385,500. So I'm figuring out where this number would go. It's greater than 2,385,000. It's also greater than 2,385,500 because here we have 555. So it's going to estimate or round to 2,386,000. Okay, so the same number again, rounded to the nearest 10,000. Alright, so when we're creating this on a number line, we're seeing why when we put the arrow behind it, does 5 and above go up, raise the score, and why does 4 or less let it rest? Because this right here, this midpoint is 5. 5 or more goes up, 4 or less stays down. So over here would be 2,380,000. And over here we're going to add 10,000 to it. 2,390,000. And in the middle, 2,385,000. That's that magic 5. 5 or more, raise the score. So when we look behind it, it's a 5 here. So we compare. Is 2,385,555 greater than 2,380,000? Yes. Is it greater than our midpoint, 2,385,000? Yes. So it's going to go right about here, which means it's going to raise the score to 2,390,000. So think about the strategy you use to get that answer and see if it's the same way. All right, so here is a bar model of showing an equation of part whole. So you're going to write an equation to match this. So this is our total amount. And we have a part of it here, but we have to figure out how do we get that other part. So what will we do to these two numbers to get our total? So it's kind of like this equation. 260 plus blank equals 350. Well, how would we actually solve that equation? We have to fill in this blank. We can't leave it there. So here's an equation you can try. 350 minus 260. Subtract that out. Got to do some borrowing here. Okay, borrow from the 3 becomes a 2. The 5 becomes a 15. And then we subtract. 15 minus 6 is 9. 2 minus 2 is 0. So this is the equation you would write to solve it. Okay, so it would be 350 minus 260 equals 90. Or you can have the addition problem. 260 plus 90 equals 350. Both of those would work. Next question, word problem. Ms. Ryan had 28 balloons and wanted to pass them out to 4 students. How many did each student get? So I hope you're thinking about what computation you're going to use to solve this. I have a total number and I'm passing them out into equal groups. That is division. So I would start with 28 balloons divided by 4 students. And so this is where you're thinking about what multiplication problem could this relate to? What times 4 would give me 28? And that's going to be 7 balloons for each student because 7 times 4 is 28. Make sure you have your labels, and I'm circling my final answer. Okay, social studies down below. Number 1, English and African cultures lived in these regions. Regions, meaning there's more than one. This is going to be on our test this week as well. So think about, where did most Africans and English farm? Where did they do that? It wasn't in the mountains in the Valley and Ridge region. Coastal plain was definitely one because it was close to the ocean when they first arrived. Blue Ridge Mountains is not one. Piedmont region is one because they had lots of fertile soil there to grow crops. Number 2, why is the Chesapeake Bay important to Virginia's economy? So economy means like money. So which one of these things near the Chesapeake Bay makes Virginia money? A, it provides fish and seafood. Does that help make Virginia money? Yes, it does. B, it provides fresh drinking water. Does that help make Virginia money? No. C, it provides beaches for the tourism industry. Does that help make Virginia money? Yes, it does. D, it's the source of major rivers. Well, that doesn't help make Virginia money, and that's actually false because the Chesapeake Bay is not the source of all the rivers. It's where the watershed is. It's where all the rivers end up. Number 3, what language was spoken in the Tidewater region by the Powhatan Indians? So you have to think, what language did the Powhatans speak? So I think of my little saying, Indian children shoot many arrows perfectly. So with the Powhatan, the language started with an A. Is it Siouan? No, that doesn't start with an A. Algonquian? Maybe not. Cherokee? Iroquoian? Best answer is Algonquian. Number 4. Buying something now and paying for it later is an example of, so this is kind of what happened in colonial Virginia, or what might happen nowadays when people go to the store and swipe a card. So A, barter, B, trade, C, debt, D, credit. So which one of those means you're buying it now, but you're going to pay for it later? That's credit. And number 5, a review question. Burgesses are how many representatives? So here's how I'll help remember this. Burgesses have 2 S's, and that's the amount that it represents. It's 2.